I'm Dr. Zoltan Rona, and I'm a medical doctor. There were some idiotic people who were taking 600,000 units of vitamin D a day, and they were getting like really high elevations of calcium, and that's a danger of too much vitamin D. But you know, how rare is that? I mean, most people are so deficient in it that even if they took 100,000 units for a whole year, nothing bad would happen to them, because basically, you know, most people need a huge amount to deal with stress, inflammation, viruses, Ebola, what have you. And basically, you don't have to be worried about that. But when some people did develop vitamin D toxicity, the governments were in a panic, and so they decided that they would overcompensate. And what they ended up doing basically is prohibiting, you know, vitamin D levels in bottles to, they limited it to 1,000 units per capsule, which I think is ridiculous, because if you went to any other country in the world, the States, for example, you can get vitamin D 10,000 units per capsule, or 20,000, 25,000. So here in Canada, we've overcompensated for these rare individuals who got toxic using way too much. For example, in the 1930s or 1940s, they were using 600,000 units a day to treat acne. Well, of course it'll help with acne, because, you know, basically it will elevate that protein in your blood that kills off whatever the bugs are. But we don't have to go that high. To get a good result with vitamin D, we probably should be between 4,000 and 6,000 units a day, and that's perfectly safe. Well, vitamin D, one of the most interesting things about vitamin D is that the more you take of it, the more your body will manufacture a protein called cathelicidin. Now, cathelicidin is very interesting because it has natural antibiotic properties. It can help the body kill viruses, parasites, bacteria, and fungi. The higher that level of cathelicidin is, the more likely it is to do that. So that's why I'm telling people, take more vitamin D, and you really don't need that stupid flu shot, because the flu shot is loaded with mercury, formaldehyde, and all kinds of toxins. And if I had a dime for every patient that told me that they got the flu or a cold or some kind of infection after they got the flu shot, I'd be a millionaire. Well, if you're an adult, you should be getting, according to the top researchers in the world, you should be getting between 4,000 and 6,000 international units of vitamin D every day. That's if you're a healthy person. If you have certain physical ailments, if you have an autoimmune disease, if you have cancer, if you have heart disease, if you have other chronic inflammatory conditions, you may need up to 50,000 international units a day. For example, if you're a diabetic, you're far better off taking 50,000 than you are taking 10,000, and the risk of toxicity is virtually zero. In Canada, just about every adult is deficient in vitamin D unless they take a supplement. We do not get vitamin D from October to May in this country. We can't get enough from our food. In order to get adequate amounts of vitamin D, we'd have to drink about 40 glasses of fortified vitamin D milk per day, and not too many people are going to do that. So I recommend between 4,000 and 6,000 for a healthy adult. For children, it's considerably less. I think probably for most kids over 12, I would say probably around 5,000. For kids over the age of, below the age of 12, probably between 2,000 and 4,000. So it's individualized, but I think we're not getting enough vitamin D in our diets, and we're not getting enough vitamin D supplementation. And as a result of that, we get a lot of flus and colds, and we get a lot of other chronic ailments. So I think that the intake has to be much higher. According to many experts, the Vitamin D Council, Dr. Michael Hollick, Dr. David Heaney, and many other people, Dr. Reinhold Weeth at the University of Toronto, who's done a lot of research on this. He says that it's impossible to become toxic in vitamin D in Canada if you're taking 10,000 international units or less a day. So that's my recommendation. Okay, emulsified vitamin D is basically a water-soluble form of a fat-soluble vitamin. There's a lot of people, as they get older, they're not able to absorb vitamin D that comes basically through food, or they're not able to absorb a vitamin D supplement that is oil-based. As a result of that, their vitamin D blood levels do not go up high enough to produce a good anti-inflammatory response. So when you take an emulsified form, in just about everybody, it's virtually 100% absorbed. And so the absorption rate of an emulsified vitamin like vitamin D is tremendously higher. And that's proven by doing before and after blood tests.